I started volunteering at Armand Bayou Nature Center 2 years ago as part of a required assignment in a college course. I stayed because I wanted to do something important. What does it mean to be an environmental steward? To be a responsible advocate for conservation? To defend wildlife and biodiversity? The time I've spent at Armand Bayou around naturalists, biologists, and conservationists who shared my passion helped me figure out what those ideas meant to me. And this is what I think makes Armand Bayou Nature Center so special. Armand Bayou Nature Center is one of the largest urban wilderness preserves in the United States. We manage 2,500 acres of preserved wildlands here, which includes wetland forests, tidal marshes, and endangered coastal tallgrass prairie, sitting on an estuary that flows into Galveston Bay and further into the Gulf of Mexico. This preserve is home to over 370 species of birds, mammals, reptiles, and amphibians. Our mission at ABNC is to preserve the habitats with which we have been entrusted, and to provide opportunities for our community to experience and understand the local ecosystem. Houston's ecological heritage lies in its historic tallgrass prairies, an ecosystem which extends along the Gulf Coast from Brownsville, Texas, to the Louisiana border. Less than 1% of this region is left today, so it has become a focal point of preservation and restoration efforts across Texas. One reason is to protect species richness and biodiversity. Coastal prairies receive an abundance of rainfall, which distinguishes the native flora and fauna from the Great Plains region, and enhances species diversity so much so that they are often called biological supermarkets. This is because prairies create shallow, unique depressional wetland breeding habitats for frogs and amphibians, birds, insects, and mammals. These are pools of water that come in with heavy rains and evaporate in drier seasons, preventing fish from inhabiting them. But there are also larger ponds and lakes that provide more long-term resources for wildlife. Several migratory birds and waterfowl in the region serve as indicators of its ecological health. Populations have unfortunately been threatened within the last few decades by habitat fragmentation and destruction, extreme weather events, invasive species, and disease. The challenges facing these species are representative of the challenges that tallgrass prairies face, especially habitat fragmentation due to urban development and agricultural expansion. Tallgrass prairies are one of the most endangered ecosystems in the country, and they provide some of the most valuable ecosystem services. Prairies are very unique in their ability to filter and store stormwater, which not only makes the soil more resistant during times of drought, it prevents soil erosion and mitigates flooding. This is because prairie grasses create a vast and expansive network of underground roots, which have been called an upside-down forest because most of the biomass is hidden underground. Stormwater flowing through urban and suburban areas can contain contaminants like fertilizer from nearby neighborhoods and pollution from roads and construction sites. If this water passes through the dense, sponge-like soil and roots of tallgrass prairies, the prairie purifies the runoff and slowly releases the excess water back into the bayou, removing pollutants and preventing flooding. Along with the absorption of water, prairies also capture a large amount of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Hal Collins, a microbiologist with the Agricultural Research Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, estimates that 1 acre of pristine prairie can store about 5 tons of carbon. Photosynthesis causes these grasses to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store it in the soil through their roots. It's easy to see how the restoration of tallgrass prairies could prove beneficial to a large industrial and flood-prone city like Houston. Armand Bayou Nature Center provides a place for the community to reconnect with nature and learn about environmental stewardship. We achieve this mission through restoration projects that aim to repair our riparian forest and tallgrass prairie to their historic conditions. The staff and large base of dedicated volunteers work countless hours planting native grasses and wildflowers, enacting controlled burns, removing invasive species, and more to help manage the natural environment. This is vital because Houston's natural spaces are under constant threat from invasive species and extreme weather events. The preservation of the Nature Center also allows us to welcome visitors to participate in guided hikes, photography tours, pontoon tours, and kayaking tours on the bayou. These experiences provide mental and physical health benefits to our visitors and bring opportunities for our community to engage with nature and see why environmental stewardship is important firsthand. Wildlife sightings in particular help to remind us that we are sharing these spaces with other living organisms. Our eco programs provide a safe and fun place for kids to explore and learn about ecology and build a love for the outdoors that will last a lifetime. In the middle of a giant metropolitan city, Armand Bayou Nature Center provides an escape to a beautiful, biodiverse nature preserve right in our backyard.